To our dear viewers of this class, like I told you, we are having a campaign which says Youth for Peace. And ACORD, yesterday they told us that peace starts with you. Mr. Moses told us that peace starts with you. And we are running a campaign with ACORD and also UNFPA about peace and maintaining peace in Uganda. So this campaign is a global campaign, and they want youth to involve themselves into things of maintaining peace, involving themselves in something that can bring money into their pockets. So ACORD today has a training which is G for Generation for Generation Dialogue. They are running two trainings at the same time, Generation for Generation Dialogue, and also training with border riders, market vendors, and also people who work in different sectors in Uganda. So here on today's show, we have Tonny Muzira, an advocate, and also Ghetto Apostle. He will briefly tell us more about himself and what he has done for his community. So let me start from my left-hand side with Ghetto Apostle. Briefly tell us about yourself and what you do.
I'm called Bulimbo Ibrahim, doing the apostolic missions in the ghetto. People call me Ghetto Apostle because I always go in the ghetto and preach Jesus Christ to our brothers in the ghetto as a tool of peace, as a tool that brings peace and love and connection to them.
So, like, if in your community, what do you basically focus on?
I basically focus on the outcasts, the weed smoker, the prostitutes, the marijuana. Those people where the church cannot reach is where I go, is where we take the church. So we deal mostly with the ghetto youths.
Thank you so much. Then Mr. Tonny.
Thank you so much, our viewers. My name is Tonny Muzira, and I work with Foundation for Male Engagement Uganda, an organization that works with men and boys to fight all forms of violence against women and girls.
So far, what have you done for your community when it comes to peace?
Yes, at FOME, I work as an advocacy and partnerships officer, and we are doing a lot of peace building activities. One of the team leaders has been at the forefront of, making sure that peace is promoted in the different countries. For example, we have been to Djibouti, we have been to Somalia, doing activities on violent extremism. But particularly in Uganda, we are through our different models. Like, for example, we have what they call MAGs. MAGs is male action groups. The male action groups, this is a model where we engage men in their different groups to talk about things that matter in their homes. So for us, our peace, we start promoting peace at a home level before we go to the rest of the community. So we engage the heads of the home, who are the fathers, because culture has made it to be that. For example, in Uganda, bagamba nti omwami tayogerwako, something like that. Omwami tasobya. So we try to, encourage them, like, if you have peace in your home, you will have development. If you have peace with your children, you will have development. If you have peace with your wife, you will have development. Because a harmonized home can be transformed and can achieve their dreams. So we start at that level, but also we also have another model called men in their comfort zone, whereby if men meet up in a bar or at a chimeza, there's a local gathering called a chimeza in a community, where men always come and gather, and they may have different discussions they always have. So for us, we use that model to reach out to them to promote peace in their communities. For example, we talk about the different sectors of violence. It's like GBV. We talk about GBV, how the issue of men being at the forefront of fighting GBV, how it can help them in their homes and the community and as a country at large. Apparently, we are trying to learn what they call the SASA model also, and we have actually seen this model with ACORD Uganda, and we are making synergies of how we can work together in terms of promoting peace. I think Sam and my colleague here will allow, since he works with the ghetto, that during the election period, we saw a lot of violences, and we used that opportunity to engage the youth and telling them, you know what, after elections, it's me and you. These guys will go either to parliament or they go to State House, but me and you, we shall remain here in the community. So let us first look at ourselves and have peace and have harmony, and then we shall take this country to another level.
Thank you so much, Tony. That has been Tony. Then to the Ghetto Apostle. Why do you think youth should be involved themselves into keeping peace?
Youth should involve themselves in keeping peace because the youth today are the main factor. They are the cause of violence. They are everything. Because if you look at the generation, the youth today have the greatest number. We are many more compared to our fathers. So, and if you look according to the situation in the world today, it's the youth that are hurt. All the policies are hurting us down in a ghetto. So this creates a hunger. It creates a hedge in someone's heart. So that's why you see it's only the youths. It's them that are jobless. And when a Mr. Politician puts some kitu kidogo for a ghetto youth, he will simply go into violence because he's struggling to get a 10,000 for a day. Someone comes up with 20,000. That's why you see it's the youth that are being used more. They don't have responsibility. They don't have anything to lose. Has no wife, has no child. So he will go, not looking unto anything. He has nothing to lose. And he needs the money. So that's why you see it is the youth who are being involved in such what? Violences in Uganda today. And we believe that with the hope from different organizations like ACORD, like the discipleship, like the Rastas, because we've been promoting love since promoting one love. Yes, one love, one heart, one soul. So we believe that if we carry on with these trainings in the ghetto, with the advices, with the prayers, with the discipleship, we believe the youths will change because their minds are so open and they are eager to learn. They are eager to test new ventures. They want to try new adventures. So we believe that if we insist more, they will change. Yeah, and we shall see a violent-free ghetto youth.
You talked about the ghetto, and true, I agree with you. Very many youth in the ghetto have been used by different
Politicians.
players in government and politicians also. And if you look at the way youth in the ghetto are moving on, where is the problem? Doesn't the problem come from the families that youth are not, these people are not talked with when it comes to family level, or the problem is with the government?
Yeah, the problem is both the government and the families. However, to the greatest extent is the families because these kids are brought up in families where there is no hope, where there is no money, where poverty strikes the family like nothing. They don't get chances to go into schools. They don't get chances to have education. They don't get chances to be parented. So they end up being parented by the ghetto. The ghetto brings them up itself. They end up growing on streets. So in the line of life, they would know nothing apart from the street. And in the life of a ghetto is only the struggle. The strong survive. So if someone grew in a life where he has no mother, has no father, he's he himself. So this makes him rude. Sometimes he feel like he's like an outcast. Everyone who looks at him say, this is a thug, this is a thief. So he ends up being that which people speak over his life. So may I believe it is the family. However, even the government, to an extent, it has neglected the youth. The government, instead of it coming to the ground and see the leaders in the ghetto, they are instead sending other men, other men who do not know how a ghetto youth survives, who do not know what we go through, who do not know how we sleep. So in the end, corruption overtakes them. And all the funds that the government has been planning for the ghetto are gone in vain, and we end up staying the way we are. The way we are, because most of our brothers, some do not even come in people. They cannot come, just like you see me here with the normal people. They don't come. They stay hidden in caves, in unfinished homes. So we've created that gap. They say as if people we are not the same people.
Thank you so much, Ghetto Apostle. Now, when it comes to Tony, you say that you are using men to promote peace. And why is that men and boys promote peace? Why is that men and boys the perpetrator or the people who always violate peace? They're the ones who beat up people, they're the ones who burn tires. And not like women, because women sometimes they step back and keep their kids, but men are always involved themselves. Why do you have very many men involving themselves into this?
Yeah, I think that's a very $1 million question, and I think the the issue comes from the cultural perspective that as a man, when you're growing up, there's a way there's a way the society depicts that because of the masculinity and all that. So you feel like you should be the man in the house, you know. But in terms of humanity and having respect for a human rights advocate like me, I think a man beating a wife or even beating their children, it's a violation of human rights. But I think it's for us to change the narrative by keep on engaging the men and boys to make sure that they be a support system to women and girls. So as FOME, we are trying to do that, and we believe that constant engagement of men and boys will actually reduce or fight all violences against women, like in terms of beating up women, beating up children, body shaming and all that. For example, if you're a man, it doesn't give you the right or the audacity to touch on a woman's butt. It doesn't give you that authority or that audacity because you're a man. No, she's also a human being like you. You have to respect her, and you have to respect her body because her body is her right. So it doesn't mean that because you're a man. So we are trying to change that narrative that comes from our cultural values and all that. Yeah.
Whoever who is watching us, remember that this show has been powered by ACORD, and ACORD, they are telling you that peace starts with you, and we are supposed to promote peace in our families, our homes, communities, our workplaces, and peace starts with you, and we are saying youth for peace. Youth should involve themselves into something that is productive. Now, when it comes to the Ghetto Apostle, it's you, a person who comes from the ghetto. The only thing that very many people who are into uptown and they're not into downtown. People who live in downtown always looked at people who smoke weed, people who are not productive, people who are not taking things serious. They don't respect themselves. And like, why do you think that the thing of peace building will help them change their minds and also change the way they take themselves? Because if I look at you, Rasta, you have dreads. Of course, what comes in my mind, this guy smokes weed, this man is not supposed to be in my community, so I should run away from you. I think you're a thug. So how best can we change this narrative of thinking about that into our communities?
Uh, Now, according to that issue, just like the way we see ACORD, that ACORD as an organization has come down to the ghetto with Madame Maggie. She has taken her time to look for us from the ghettos, and really she has seen what she never thought of. Why she came to us, like the way you see me here. When I'm in a ghetto way back there, you cannot think of me like the way I am. You could not think that I preach the word of God. So peace building activities have helped us very much in the ghetto. How? Our brothers have learned the values of being peaceful. They have learned the dangers of violence, because as we speak per now, most of our friends have been jailed up, others have been, their nails have been taken out simply because they were looking for a 20,000 to put in their stomach. And according to the past experience of life, of being imprisoned, of being humiliated by police anywhere, even if a ghetto youth gets a problem, he cannot go to police and report. Because the first thing the police officer will do is say, toa viatu, ingia ndani. Because the way you look, you cannot be represented. But these peace activities have helped us really. Our brothers can stand and promote peace in the societies where they used to be violent. You see, we can come up with ideas, we organize football matches, we play, and we create peace. The weed smokers are playing with those who are not smoking weed. And in the end, after the match, you people come together as one, eat together, you share. So you see that there is a revolution of change that is moving down in the ghetto because of these peace activities. Because sometimes back, these people could not come. The weed smokers would not play football with those who don't smoke weed. But things are changing because of the peace activities. These our brothers have realized that someone who does not smoke weed can call a weed smoker and give him a job to dig for him somewhere or to build for him something. So these peace building activities have really helped us to connect with the people who used to fear us. People used to see us as weird, as tough people. They have now connected to us because of these peace building activities. That's why we as the ghetto, we are so happy for ACORD. We are so happy for the organizations that have taken time to come down into the ghetto and see the fact for themselves and don't just hear. You know, there is a difference between a hearsay and what you saw with your own eyes. So people who have come to the ghetto, they have realized that down in a ghetto, there are people whose minds go beyond what they think of them. There are people whose minds go beyond the weed. So I believe these peace building activities, they will greatly impact and change the ghetto. I believe, and I've seen it work.
Okay, you have seen, he believes and he has seen it working. So you people who are out there, you don't need to judge somebody just by the way he or she looks. Because of his dreads, that means the person smokes weed and is going to take away your bag. Respect him the way he respects you. Like, we need to have a peaceful community. We don't need to judge one another. We need to be respectful. Then when it comes to Tonny, as you are winding up, I would like you to tell me why do we see very many different categories of people inside that building, having discussions, having dialogues, having like exchanging words on the way of how they best they can promote peace and how best they can develop our country, in that we don't be violent as youth and young people, or boys and girls. Like, what are some of the words that you would like to tell somebody out there who didn't attend this training or this meeting, and he or she can be peaceful in his or our community?
Yes, first of all, I want to appreciate ACORD for bringing us together, having the different kind of groups that we have. We are having women and girls that are working that are market vendors. We have the ghetto youth, like he is here representing them. We also, in the meeting, we also have those that work in workshops, like the mechanics and all that. So for me, as someone who is working in an organization that is trying to work with them, I'm seeing it as an opportunity. I need to understand the ghetto men, the ghetto young people, you know, how do they run their lives and all that. How can we work together with them? For example, I gave an example of sports. For me, already I have the innovation that we can have a football match between women and men. You know, that is a sign of promoting. Exactly. I remember we did it in school. Yeah, so bringing us together, it's first of all, it's dialogue. Because if you speak to the same group, that means you're speaking to yourself. But if you bring different people, you're able to hear different views, and then you're able to come up with constructive recommendations in terms of promoting peace. Secondly, I think also we need to behave. We need to behave. People need to know the realities. I happen to have some young people that are into drugs and all that. And I remember when we were growing up, they used to tell us, those people who take drugs, they are bad, they are what. But sometimes these people don't do these things because they want. One, it may be out of peer influence. Secondly, it is maybe you feel like you've grown up or something like that. And then these people are redundant. So we have to give them alternatives. That no, it doesn't mean you have to take drugs, but you can drive a border and earn a 10,000 to earn a living. You can start up a workshop and earn something, you know. So giving them alternatives, because the world is moving. We need to grow up. Like Uganda has been aspiring to have a middle income status, but we have failed because the biggest population is the youth. They are at 78%. So if you don't provide the different alternatives for them, then they will not be productive to the country. As I wind up, there's what they call the demographic dividend. I think some of you have heard of it, and I've been speaking about for years. This is I think we will go back and tujja kyogera mu Luganda nga tugenze mu baggeto nga nzeeyo. A demographic dividend is something that Uganda wants to achieve, to harness, where in terms of we want to make the population that is not working into a population that is working, so that it can bring a higher productivity to the country. Nti bano abaana abatali kukola, babeere nga bagatta ettofaali ku ggwanga to reducing dependence ntya Tonny alina abaana 10 abamudipendingako nti abaana 10 bano bw'obayisaamu n'obalaga ekyokukola balina kye bongerako nti nawa ku baana 10 abalala bana creating nabo bajja kwa so kati eggwanga liba likola ki litambula mu maaso n'ekirala to reducing okuzaala ennyo abaana be tutasobola as I'm winding up, like for example the dividend looks at reducing in terms of the fertility rates nti kuzaala abaana 8 ate nga tosobola balabira tebasobola kusoma. So we are making sure, for example, the women and girls to keep in school such that they can have a future and be pilots and be doctors and be business women so that they can actually promote this country. And I believe if this population is worked upon, we shall achieve the middle income status.
Thank you so much, Tonny. Ghetto man, what would be your last words in only a few minutes?
My last words would be about discipleship. This goes to the whole world, not basically the ghetto, to everyone. You cannot have love unless you have God. So you cannot love God unless you love people. So if you look to the story of Jesus Christ used to spend his life in a ghetto. He used to work with those ghetto people. So there is a secret in a ghetto. That's why we are ministering in a ghetto. These people love God, and when they accept God, they have accepted God. They share to the list that 100 shillings, that water for 100, can be taken by 10 people down in a ghetto. So this love, if it comes also in these other normal people, like we always call them, abantu ba bulijjo, if they could have this love in them, we will see our world prospering. But everyone for his and his stomach, we will not have a change in the world. So we believe that there are people there with hands. Come, we work together. We can make ghetto a complete blessing from God.
So thank you so much. That has been Tonny Muzira and also the Ghetto Apostle. I'm just looking forward to going to his community. At least I need to have a look at his community and I see how they live. Yeah, I think we shall go there as a class and do something for you guys and see how best we can promote peace. So this has been a class. Remember, we are powered by ACORD, and ACORD is telling you, peace starts with you and youth for peace. So this is a campaign that is running in Uganda and also the other different parts of the world, including the entire Africa and the world. So peace starts with you. You need to maintain peace, keep peace in your homes, in your communities, and also at your workplaces. So thank you so much for watching us. We are still continuing with this class and defense session that's still going on here at Eureka. Thank you so much. See you.